Hey cooks, so I've got a lot of questions about slicing bread. We recently made 2 loaves of homemade bread using Baker's Percentages. And a lot of people in the Facebook group have asked me, how do I slice bread? And I know you're thinking, you're making a video about how to slice bread, but there's 2 tools that I use to get nice even slices. And it's actually really easy once you get the hang of it. So join me and let's slice some bread. So my favorite 2 tools to slice bread with is a Victorinox or Dexter offset bread knife. They're both pretty equivalent. This one happens to be a Dexter, but I have a Victorinox as well. These are like beater knives, and they're great for slicing bread. They're nice and grippy, and gives you a great, so you can get a stance, so you can get nice even slices. The other way that I slice bread is by using an electric knife. And electric knife is like the smoothest way to slice bread because you really don't get any splintering of the bread. I've had that with some really cheap bread knives. It just like splinters. You get a nice smooth cut with an electric knife. This one here is a Cuisinart. I'm not 100% sure if they still make this knife, but I will put an equivalent if they don't have this knife. I'll put a link to the equivalent in the description, as well as a link to the Victorinox and the Dexter. So we made this homemade bread. I'll put a link up here and in the description to the video where we made this bread. This bread smells fantastic. What I love about this is the recipe came out to exactly 4 pounds, and it's a beautiful loaf of bread, and it's the proper size, because a lot of times I've made homemade bread and they go whoop like this, right? And you don't get a proper slice of bread for a sandwich or toast. So we're gonna tackle the bread, right? You just need to pay attention to what you're doing and get a rhythm so you get slices that are fairly even cut. So I always start with my first slice. You want to make sure that your bread is nice and cool. If you slice it when it's still warm, it's going to be squishy and it's going to make it harder to slice. So here is our fresh baked bread. And you just want to cut them as thin or as thick as you like. I just like standard bread slices. A little thick, not too thin.
Unless you're going to make some Texas toast, right?
Yeah, unless you're going to make Texas toast. I think one of the big keys of slicing the bread is just make sure your bread is completely cool, because then you'll get a better slice. If it's not cool, you will get, it's really hard to slice. So we're just going to keep going with our slices. I mean, they're not going to be exact. You can get a bread slicing guide, which allows you to put the bread into like this tube, and it gives you slots to slice it. I had one of those years ago, and I actually dropped and broke it, and I just never replaced it. I think for me, having the bread completely cool works wonders. Comes out perfectly sliced. It's particularly difficult if your bread's not completely cool when you get down to the edge here, because it really starts squishing. if you have a nice sort of soft but firm loaf, the slicing goes amazingly. And here we have a perfectly sliced loaf of bread. Look at that. Looks amazing, doesn't it?
Wonder ain't got nothing on you, boo.
Nope. Look at that. Wow, it's just practice. Yeah. So let's try the next loaf with the electric knife. Okay, we got loaf number 2 here. Get this loaf out. Now we're going to do our electric knife. And it's the same process, obviously, but you'll notice how smooth this cuts. The electric knife gives us a nice, beautiful slice. I'm doing these a little thicker. I might make some French toast out of this. And this bread is beautiful. Look at the crumb on that bread, and it's nice and soft. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Just has to be slow and steady. Wow, that is beautiful. It's easy as sliced bread. If you like this video, please subscribe below, leave me a comment and a like, and visit my website at amylearnstocook.com. Also, come join me in my Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/amylearnstocook. And you can also catch me on Pinterest and Twitter at Amy Learns to Cook, and on Instagram, I'm at Cookin' with Amy. Now let's go make a sandwich.